Welcome back to ATRE. So today I'm joined by Neil Webster and we're going to be talking about what Neil does, the public sector and his advice for the younger generation. Okay, so firstly Neil, welcome onto the channel.
Thank you.
So you're a man of many avenues. So let's start with your Cyclo Consulting.
Yeah.
What is that exactly?
Well, Cyclo is just me basically, and I work for various organisations, generally in the public sector, providing a bit of strategic advice to them on their estate or their services team. So my clients are also my friends as well.
Oh, nice. So how have you found them clients? They're just years and years of getting to know people, and that's all public sector stuff, or do you do that?
I'm older than I look, so as you say, years and years. And networking's important, so that's a thing to get across for the younger population, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
You can't just sit in a room and hope things come your way.
Yeah.
Wait for the telephone to ring. You know what a telephone is?
I do know. Yeah. How would you want people? Say if someone to approach you, would it be a telephone call, straight up? Because a lot of people these days they just message on LinkedIn, don't they?
Well, funny enough, I think you're right. LinkedIn's a good channel, but I do have one policy, and that if nobody puts a message on their request, I generally don't respond. So it still has to be personalised.
Yeah.
You still have to have that sort of touch point with people, rather than just sort of some random I do this, we should link up.
Yeah. Okay. I get you. But you've been doing Cyclo for how many years now? Or months?
I can't remember exactly, and I won't do the calculation. It's more than 10, less than 15
Okay,
years.
nice.
Yeah.
So in your time there, what's been the hardest part of doing that yourself?
Well, in the early days, it's the sort of first 6 months, are people going to buy into you all the time?
Yeah.
Now I look back, whatever that number is, 15 years, and go, crikey, it wasn't so bad after all, was it?
Yeah.
But a bit of advice would be, give yourself 6 months if you set up on your own. You can't. It just doesn't happen overnight. But continue the connections with people, networking, and generally, if you've done some good work, friends pass on. Word of mouth is still a good thing.
Yeah. What would be some networking tips that you give to people? So a young guy walks into a room full of load of real estate professionals, what would you tell them?
Number one, don't panic.
Okay.
They're all nice people generally, particularly in the public sector. And just think of a sort of a couple of lines that you can use to pop into somebody else's conversation. It's once you do that, it's sort of relatively easy. I think in my early days, I always found it a bit nerve-wracking. But no, I think nobody's going to kill you in the room.
True.
But
Okay.
think of the worst thing that could happen, and it's if you get killed, and it's not going to happen. So
so you'll be okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But then, so that's your Cyclo Consulting. What about your remit?
Okay. So remits, bigger projects. We're a sort of management consultancy for the property industry. And generally it's of larger scale projects with more 3, 4, 5 people on the project rather than just myself. So quite often they'll come to me or I'll come to them with ideas. Not doing anything big with them at the moment, but there's always something around the corner. Should we shelter for a minute?
Yeah, it's just started raining.
How about this public sector building here?
Let's go.
So the Association of Chief Estate Surveyors.
Yeah.
It's a big name, isn't it? But ACES is the shorter version.
Fine.
And so people are generally working in the public sector as a property professional for a local authority, central government, Department of Work and Pensions, for example, and other authorities.
Okay.
Health authorities.
Yeah.
The chair of our London branch works for Guy's and St Thomas's Trust. We had a meeting last Friday. So it's a membership organisation, and I have this small role as head of engagement. So my role there is to sort of promote the membership, and also have our relationships with people like the RSCS, Office of Government Property, and other bodies like that.
Okay, nice. So those three things keep you busy, I'm sure.
Yeah, and being grandfather soon as well.
Oh,
probably.
really? Congrats.
Yeah.
But why should the younger generation get into the public sector?
I think first and foremost, it's the range of projects, the breadth of work you can get in the public sector. I don't think can be surpassed. You are very actively involved in changing people's lives.
True.
So there's nothing better than that, isn't there?
Yeah.
You're paid as well, but imagine that you have a real impact on what's going on in the UK for people on the streets, for people visiting all sorts of public buildings.
Yeah.
And particularly during the pandemic, property people were creating things like Nightingale hospitals and testing centres across the country. But run-of-the-mill stuff now these days, obviously, libraries, schools, and the like. That's the sort of activity you get involved in.
And you've always done public sector. So have you done any private work?
No, generally speaking, last 20 years.
Okay.
It's pretty much public sector, 100%.
Yeah. What made you move over? Just for the reasons we just mentioned, or change things up?
I would say I was taken on by the Met Police on an interim role for a couple of years. And funnily enough, there's a building just down there if the rain stops that we could get to. And I think from then on, I was only doing public sector work. So let's say a particular moment in time, interim role came along, and
then you've done
onwards,
it. Yeah, nice. Yeah. And then you got into the industry was it by chance, or did you have family in the industry, or were you?
Definitely didn't have family in the industry.
Yeah.
It was I would say a chance thing. A friend of mine who was at a different university had started in the profession. We met at a party. He told me what it was all about, and I was hooked.
No.
From then on.
Do the public sector do anything like degree apprenticeships and things like that?
Very much so. There are a lot of people through the University of the Built Environment who are on apprenticeships.
Yeah.
I don't know what the numbers are, but a good example recently is I helped do a mock interview last week with a very nice lady who qualified over the weekend. Well, she was given her letters over the weekend.
Nice.
And she came through the apprenticeship route. I mean, it's a bit longer.
Do you recommend it over going to university?
It sounds like it's a question for me as opposed to for the population. I think it's one of the routes people should consider.
Yeah.
So if you're at school, you should be thinking, university and then getting into profession, or a 5-year apprenticeship. I'm not going to sort of say one or the other.
Yeah.
Both seem good ways of getting in. I guess it's up to the individual whether they want to start working sooner rather than later, perhaps.
Yeah, I think I wish I did. It's a bit of a tricky one for me because I sort of fell into it. I got my grades coming out of college, and I thought, why not? And I didn't really blink an eye at a degree apprenticeship in property.
But you know more about it now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think if I were to do a degree apprenticeship, it wouldn't be in something that I want to do now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't know that I want to do the thing now without going to university.
So it's almost like too early to make the decision.
Yeah. If you could go back to the start of your career, do you think you would go straight into public sector? Or would you say that what you've learned beforehand has been...
It's a cracking question. I'll avoid it like a politician and say that I think that working in both sectors is quite good for you.
Yeah.
And then you understand it more broadly. So whether I start with it or finish with it, I don't think it necessarily matters. I think if you have been exposed to both sectors, it probably gives you a broader mind. So I started in the private sector, worked for PwC overseas for a bit, but I think I found my little niche.
I'm going to pick up what you said there with overseas. Do you recommend people work overseas as well? Where were you working?
Well, in a country that is now called Czechia.
Okay.
So I was in Prague with PricewaterhouseCoopers at the time, in what was Czechoslovakia, but then separated into Czechia and Slovakia. I had colleagues in Hungary and Poland.
Yeah.
We're going to carry
walking.
on.
Yeah. The rain seems to have stopped a little
I
bit.
enjoyed it. You're asking me whether I'd recommend it to others?
Yeah.
It's entirely up to other people. It came at quite a good time in career, pre-children. We could travel. I'd always advocate travel.
Yeah.
From a sort of, getting a wider experience. So, don't get stuck in a niche is perhaps the answer to that one, rather than go and work overseas.
Yeah. So if you could go back to 20, do you think?
You're asking me to on my
go
memory.
back in time. I know.
What date you said I'm going to go back to?
If you were going to go back to 20, so about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
How would you go about getting that work experience? Because there's a lot of people that don't know people in the industry.
Yeah.
And they might find it hard to get that experience. What would you recommend to all of those?
Yeah. You've got to knock on some doors in a digital sense. You use friends and the like, different networking channels. If we go this way,
Let's go down there.
I can show you actually. Just make yourself known to places. When I first went into the profession, the chap who took me on, he took on 3 grads.
Yeah.
2 from Reading and me, with a geography degree. So, that required a bit of door knocking to convince somebody to take on somebody who was non-cognate.
Yeah.
He obviously did well out of it. Sadly, he's passed away now. But I was very happy when I was able to do that. But that wasn't the first one. So.
Yeah.
So, what I will talk about just quickly is the site we're walking through now.
Yeah.
Used to be the location of what was then New Scotland Yard.
Okay.
Technically, I would have called it New Scotland Yard because the old original Scotland Yard was close to Parliament Square.
Right.
So on this building, I forget the size of it, we had very large police presence in terms of officers, as in frontline and back office people. And now we've got a lot of residential, which generated some funds for MOPAC, which is the Mayor's Office of Policing. And now they're they're on the embankment close to their original home.
Right. Okay.
So imagine the sort of property process that goes behind being occupant of a building that's coming to the end of its life.
Yeah.
You're sitting on a piece of land worth quite a bit. Those are public funds. You're then having to right-size the organisation in terms of what people need in terms of office space, and boy oh boy has that changed in recent years, hasn't it? And now we have a modern, rejuvenated, redeveloped site. There's a survey which Remit do, which is the office worker and return survey that gives you some data on that. And I think I'm right in saying that not necessarily until, but recently, the uptick in office occupancy would have to go on for 40 years in order to reach the occupancy we had before the pandemic.
Huh.
So I don't think the office sector as we knew it in 2019, 2020 will return to the same, both the nature of the activity, as in what people do and when they go to the office, and the demand for offices. So the industry has to respond to it. As you can tell from what we're seeing around here, there's an awful lot of offices being built.
I know.
New ones, but I think the nature of how people occupy them and what they do there is quite different.
And then you've got that space at the RICS to use when you need.
Don't tell too many people, right? But the member space at the RSS is fantastic.
Yeah.
How many people does this go out to?
Oh, millions.
Don't tell
millions.
them. Don't tell them.
So you're not, well, you are, but you aren't quite pro-office. Like you said, it's not really beneficial to you as much. But what about the grads out there? They need to be in the offices.
I think I'll reference a person who joined Remit during the pandemic. We had to onboard him without being able to meet him.
Oh, really?
So imagine that.
Yeah.
Okay? So my way of doing it was to cycle to where he was living, and we met on a hillside in Surrey, with distancing, of course.
Of course, yeah.
And we had our first meeting. He's now moved on to other pastures, but that's the sort of thing that was going on then.
Yeah.
Go on, give me the other side of the question again. I went down a bit of a rabbit warren there.
So, should grads be in the offices?
Okay. So I think there's a definite metric that those who are newer to the profession want to, and probably should, spend a bit more time in the office, getting to know people, their colleagues, etc. Then it's entirely up to the organisation and the employees what the working practice is and what works best for them.
Okay.
The great thing about the property profession is quite a lot of people are out, visiting and inspecting and measuring and valuing properties, rather than being, quote, in the office. So very much depends on who you work for, what the nature of your business is, what sort of buildings you're dealing with, etc. Hopefully that doesn't avoid the question.
No,
it just says there's a wide range of choices for people.
Is that the best part of your job, going out to site and not being stuck behind a desk all day? But
I think that would be the answer several years ago, but no, I'll go back to your people thing now. What I enjoy most at the moment is bringing people on.
Okay.
Reaching out to them to join the profession, and if they're in the profession, helping them out. The future of the profession in the ACES arena.
Okay.
There are about just under 300 people we've got who are on the pathway to an RCS APC qualification.
Yeah.
And we, as a membership body, are supporting them, even though they're not members. They're probably working alongside members. And we give them help in terms of mock interviews, just general guidance sort of for the APC, and other sort of like technical support, run APC away days.
Nice.
And we're getting quite a few people qualified, and genuinely that gives me a kick when people get through what is quite an arduous process, and we've helped them a little bit along the way. Their employer should be taking the hard yards, but we're just adding to that to make sure that they, who particularly if they're working in a local authority, they're not thousands of them. They're not on a massive program. So we're sort of providing the wrapper program-wise to help them through. And
with that,
doing a mock interview is just helpful for them. The more practice they get,
the more likely they will pass. Yeah. So you do everything with offices, retail, but just public sector side of things.
So I would say that the nature of the buildings and the sectors in the public sector are less about offices and retail. So much more about public buildings.
Yeah.
So they may be, as I said earlier, schools, libraries, community centres, flood systems for departments of government, the whole range of let's call it infrastructure.
Yeah.
As we walk past the barracks of the military on our right hand side, the MOD are a massive owner of real estate and have a huge number of surveyors.
Oh really?
So that was very timely, wasn't it?
This side. I know.
We'll walk past the parade ground in a minute, which is the most amazing piece of real estate of just land.
Okay.
There isn't a park in the centre of London. It'll be on our right in a minute.
Okay. We'll catch that for sure.
We've just seen a very gold ped cycle, haven't we?
I know. Have you ever been on one?
No, I've got my own bike actually, so I don't need those.
You don't need one of them.
No. I don't know what's on today. We might actually get told we can't go down Birdcage Walk.
Oh.
I think there's like a royal visit or something, is there?
So going back to the RICS building.
Yeah.
So not everyone can go into it unless you're RICS accredited. Is that right?
Well, it's open if you go on one of their, let's say, invite days. I know recently they've been involved in a couple of early careers and younger people's activities. So
Yeah.
I'm sure people, if a school wanted to take some people along, I'm sure that they would allow them to come in for an event or something.
Okay, yeah.
As long as it's related to the built environment.
To the industry. Because it's
No,
a lovely building,
it's not
isn't it?
it's not a closed space in terms of it's only for members.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely where it's moved more recently, and the ACES community sit on the public sector forum in the RSCS, so we have a sort of way of slightly influencing some of the policy and direction of travel.
Yeah.
That's been great.
Okay.
Fun night. The president of ACES sits on that, and I go along and carry his bags for him. I probably do a bit more than that. So.
Yeah. I'm just going to go back to the thing about schools and the built environment that we were speaking about just before
Yeah,
we
in the
started
green
filming.
room.
Yeah. So why do you think it's not pushed as much in schools? Well, firstly, the public sector for one, and secondly, just real estate as an industry.
So if you call it real estate, I'll call it the built environment for the moment.
Yeah.
I think one thing about the profession is the built environment is quite fragmented. So you've got architects, you've got quantity surveyors, you've got engineers, you've got general practice surveyors. So they all have their own institute.
Right.
RIBA for architects, ICE for engineers, RICS. So they're much better connected these days, but I don't think there has been a good single voice for the built environment
Right.
promoting it. So George Clark, the architect and TV presenter, did some cracking work on it, talking about houses and making that accessible to individuals and people. But I think it's been more of a sort of business or business to business sort of discussion to date. So we've got to do more to find the right language to talk to students at school about what the built environment is. And obviously watching your podcast would be a great way of doing
That
it.
would be a great dick. So if anyone's watching this and they're not followed to the channel, just click that button in the top right and you could see more of this content here.
Now, I was referencing the parade ground. It's coming up on the right now, Patrick. And how about this as it's not soil, is it? But it's land without any buildings on it. And it's massive. So I think they use that for practice and parades prior to all sorts of things going on around the Buckingham Palace and in and around central London.
Okay, yeah, it's a huge building. This is a lovely part of
I know.
the city, isn't it?
So during the marathon, there's a bridge across there.
Yeah.
And it's hellish getting out of St James's Park over the bridge and back again.
So they run down here?
They run from Westminster Bridge around the corner, past Buckingham Palace, and then just up the Mall on the other side. So if we cross over.
Yeah. Very good.
And you could argue, parks are part of infrastructure.
Yeah.
And I'll put across that, one of the great things about the public sector is that most of the work that goes on has a social benefit rather than necessarily a financial benefit. So the production of amenity space, whether it be parks smaller than St James's, locally, is important. If you build houses, you don't just want to have homes and houses, you need amenity alongside it as well. And the public sector is probably more involved in that sort of thing, as I said, schools, libraries, etc., than the rest.
But what would you say is changing about the public sector for the near future? Are you seeing more maybe homes being built with it, or?
Well, I think the building of homes isn't just a public sector thing, is it?
No.
It's got to be public and private working together. And that, I think, is where the best partnerships are developed. Public sector can't do everything on its own, hasn't got the money in the same way. So back to your sort of question about homes, there's obviously a target from government at the moment, a big target, 1.5 million homes by the end of the next Parliament, whenever that is, given what's been going on recently.
Do you think that target will be hit, or?
I would say most people listening to this know the answer to that question, so I
Okay.
don't probably need to give it. And that's not avoiding it.
Yeah.
I think, they've set a big target in order to, wake people up.
Yeah.
And even if we deliver 1.1, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
We need more. We need more homes, but we need them in the right places, and we need them to a quality that people want to call them homes rather than houses.
Okay.
Houses are empty, homes are lived in.
Of course. Yeah. But what are some of the challenges that you face in the public sector which the private might not come across? And then we'll
Let's rephrase the word challenge, shall we?
Okay.
So I'm always of the view there's never a problem, only a situation that requires a resolution.
Okay.
So a challenge is an issue that requires a solution. Lack of or paucity of capital, I think, is one at the moment. Particularly the health programme doesn't quite have the same capital that it used to have. So we're not getting the refurbishment and redevelopment of hospitals as we perhaps used to get. I think the wider economic and structural factors across the globe at the moment are having their impact on the public and the private sector. We have quite strict, and rightly so, rules and regulations which we adhere to that sometimes push costs up. So costs have been pushed up partly because of that and partly because of what's going around the world. And I think the other is getting the right people into the profession. Generally speaking, everybody would say we need more talent into the profession and our industries.
Yeah.
And probably from a wide range of backgrounds as well.
Okay.
So the RSS have sort of responded to that. They've got 3 new pathways at the moment, one of which is about data management, which you wouldn't describe as unique to property. You could apply that to any industry. So we're having to compete with the other industries, accounting, legal, for new people coming through.
Yeah. What do you think your graduate uptake is like? Has it been increasing in the past few years or maintaining?
I think you'll have to ask the RSS that question because I think they've probably got better data. I can probably answer it for the public sector, and my view is that we could have more people coming into the profession at an earlier stage, and it's not just graduates, it's school leavers as well.
Yeah.
So ACE is doing our little bit to try to help that. We're doing some promotion into universities.
Nice.
And we're looking at, alongside 1 or 2 others, including previous interviewees of yours, how we interface with schools as well.
Okay.
We've got to get them early.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't want them to try and go off into these horrible other professions.
Yeah,
That's far less interesting.
it is. That's what I have noticed about starting a degree and learning about all the avenues that you can go down. There's loads.
Yeah.
You're always gonna meet someone new. You're always gonna be referred to someone else that can potentially help you out. And at the moment, I've got my aspirations of what I want to get into, but who knows?
Well,
Next week it could change.
I don't know what's the number about in 3 years' time people will be doing jobs that don't exist at the moment. There's some massive number, isn't there?
Yeah.
But if you commit yourself to something at the moment, something actually might happen in 2 years' time that's more suited to you. So keep your options open as much as possible.
Yeah, of course.
Probably why I did a geography degree rather than land economics.
It keeps it. Yeah.
I'm on the hunt, by the way, for all the geographers in the public sector working in property at the moment. I've found half a dozen, and I thought, right, it might be interesting to find all the others.
Yeah, there is a few. I don't know if we were saying it on camera or off camera, but there's a lot of people that study geography and then do the masters in the built environment.
Yeah.
But anyway, so most of the people watching this content now are early careers. Okay. So what would be one thing that they can do this week to get one step closer to being in the built environment?
Well, they could definitely reach out to some of the bodies that are happy to educate them about the options. So ACES is one, RSS is another. That's just two, and there are others, and there are other projects I think you're aware of that are trying to engage with the younger fraternity. We're also keen on, let's say, doing the Heineken thing, which is trying to reach out to parts that others can't or find hard to reach.
Yeah.
Because there are definitely people there who don't know about it. So I think it's trying to re-engineer your question.
Okay.
We should be doing something to find the people who want to engage but don't know about us.
Fine.
So why don't we turn left here,
Yeah.
and then we can go and find the money at the Treasury.
All right, let's
Yeah?
go.
I don't know if they'll let us in with the camera on, but we could go past at least.
Okay, yeah, we'll give it a go, and then we'll head back
Yeah.
towards.
I don't know how much money's in there.
See how much we can get. I've got a bag on me, so that might be
Oh dear.
might be a fair few.
I think the bag, the camera, and the lack of meeting accreditation won't count for us.
Won't get us in.
We'll give it a go, won't we?
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. But this is a conversation that I've had with a couple of people already today, or a question even. So,
Yeah.
say if I asked you out to go for a coffee, okay? A big thing in the industry, everyone asks it all the time, and that's always what you use to try build a relationship.
How have you started that relationship? Before you said, how would he come for coffee?
Yeah.
Is that the first thing you're asking me? Come on, let's...
Yeah, so I find you on LinkedIn,
Okay,
and I
fair
think,
dues.
oh, Neil, you've
We've
got a pretty
connected
cool...
first then, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I've sent you a little note in my connection saying, hi, Neil, it'll be great to grab a coffee
Yeah?
one time,
Yeah.
just to learn little bit more about...
Can we stick
What
this
you
side
do.
and then they won't stop you filming, probably.
Okay, nice.
But that's Her Majesty's Treasury building there.
Look at that.
I
Huge.
don't think there's any money in there apart from the coins in people's pockets. But there are people making policy about, public coffers, and deciding, what the priorities are, whether it's defence or it's health or local government or various things, isn't it?
Okay.
We
Yeah.
can go and influence them some other time, perhaps.
Yeah, might go... Yeah, it's a huge building, isn't it?
Yeah, and then we've got the Institute of Chief Civil Engineers.
Which one's that? Is that the middle one?
On the
through
corner
there?
behind the statue,
Yeah.
right on the corner, very grand building. Behind that we've got the Queen Elizabeth II Conference Centre,
Okay.
where a lot of the public sector events are held. And obviously we've got the RSS just to the left of
there.
that.
Yeah. Okay. But going back to that coffee. Okay.
Yes,
So,
well, you had me at coffee, so what's the question?
let's say you agree and we go sit down for the coffee now. A lot of people, they get to that stage, but they don't actually know what to talk about when you go to that coffee. So what do you expect of me to firstly know about you and to talk about
Good
for it to be
question.
worth your time to coming to speak to me?
Yeah, we're going on a green light, aren't we here?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Bit dodgy.
Yeah.
Hopefully, oh, there you go.
There we go.
We're good.
Told you we'd get a green light.
Right. But yeah, what do you expect of me to know about you for it to be a successful trip for the two of us?
So I expect you to have done a little bit of homework and some research.
Yeah.
You don't need to know my life story, nor my employer, if that's the case, detail, but at least a little bit of knowledge about who you're talking to and who they work for.
Okay.
And then really I think it's fair that you can then be asking questions. If you are intrigued more about the profession as we're discussing now, then I don't expect you to know everything.
Yeah.
But if you're interested, enthused,
Yeah.
and energetic about it, then I personally am prepared to answer your questions.
Yeah.
So first is homework, and the other is, hopefully you've got some interesting stories as well that are property related.
True.
For me,
True.
it would be about Man City winning the FA Cup final, or Quins coming back from 24/7 on Saturday, because I was there at Twickenham
Yeah.
whilst the FA Cup final was on, whilst my team was in it, or that Englishman winning the PGA or whatever it was, the
golf.
American golf.
Yeah.
First one in 107 years or something. Sorry, second one in 107 years. So there you go. You know my interests already.
You're a sporty guy, yeah, yeah. Who do you support?
Less sporty. Well, Manchester City.
You are City.
Manchester City,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Well, you're wearing a light blue shirt. I'm wearing a light blue shirt.
Yeah.
We're on message, aren't we?
I support Arsenal, so we might be in a bit of a...
End of interview. I'll open the door for you, Patrick.
Thank you. So this is the entrance here. Let me get this on camera. It's a lovely building, isn't it? Like you said, it was what, 1800s?
Again, we'll have to do some research on this. Should we test the front desk?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, guys, do you know what the date the building was built? Do you know the date the building was built? He keeps asking me, and so I need to know the answer. That's all. So it doesn't matter, but I thought it'd be a bit of a test, you know. Anyway, these are very welcome, friendly people. Well, certainly to me they are, anyway. Yeah.
You don't know that. Piece of information.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I said,
Okay.
when I leave, you can have told me. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Right.
Where would you like to go?
We'll go up to the council chamber because if it's still empty,
Yeah.
which is very grand, but people could be interested in. Let's see if there's somebody in, we won't be able to do it. Thank you.
Thank you. Someone in there?
Well,
There is.
they're setting it up. What are you setting it up for, guys?
What are we setting it up?
For this evening or this afternoon or evening?
Yes.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. What is it? Awards or don't know will do. You can say don't know. Be nice if it was for all these people who just passed their APC getting their awards. It might be. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe it's about 80 people. So
Okay. I'll ask downstairs. The logic would be to work out the first president
Yeah.
and then say the building is as old as the
Is
first
this him?
president.
Yeah, yeah. That makes
Right,
sense.
so we go back to our room.
Yeah. See if that works. Look at that. And we're back in the RICS.
Better put that there if the microphone's still on it.
Oh yeah. Oh
We've only got 1,000 questions to go.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
hard,
okay.
we're just getting started. That was the warm up walk, and now we're going to get into the 3-hour
I need
stint.
some water. Need some water.
Yeah. Anyway, so just to finish off, firstly, thank you very much for inviting me into this building here and going for that little walk with me. It's got your steps in for the day.
I'll just tell you what those are if you want. That's over 5,000 already. So
Nice.
Thank you.
Unreal. Just to finish off,
Yeah.
what's that one piece of advice that you would give to all of these people watching?
Is that it?
Yeah.
No, I thought there's a sort of...
There was going to be, but then that was it. The one piece of advice we spoke about a lot today. The one bit that you would
It's a
pick
bit
out.
corny.
I say it
but-
every time. I love it.
I know we haven't rehearsed this because I'm thinking about it. I'd say be yourself.
Okay.
You know, you can't do a job enthusiastically if you are not invested in it.
Mm.
You know, hopefully it's come across that I enjoy what I do.
Mm.
I'm happy to discuss it as well, and hopefully I come across as authentic about it. So it's me. You get me. I don't like that phrase, be your best self. But anyway, genuinely, people should be themselves. But obviously, that self can change over time, and you can develop through your career.
Yeah.
And the other would be, so I'll add two onto.
You are. Yeah, you can have two.
Make sure you get a really good work-life balance. So if you get that, then you work hard, play hard, and then sleep hard as well.
Nice. Awesome. All right, everyone. That was Neil Webster. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Patrick. Enjoyed it. Thank you.